So let's get straight into it. So, Dayo, this coming Saturday is Aston Villa versus Arsenal. And, last season, if there was what I can say, if there's one team Arsenal wants to, well, I don't want to use the word crush or punish. I don't want to use any of those words. But if I know if there's one team Arsenal wants to take points from away, is Aston Villa. But what do you think about the game this Saturday?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because if you look at it, Aston Villa was the only team that really damaged Arsenal and City last season.
Very true.
They were the only ones who literally made both of us who were chasing the title lose points.
Yes.
Serious points. Because City could have won the league last season with an extra 3 points, making 5 if they had beaten Villa easily. But these are the kind of games where you're like, I don't want Aston Villa to become another bogey team for Arsenal. So we have to go and beat them. We have to win. Because if we don't, then they become a bogey team. Because last season they took 6 points away from us. If they beat us this season or we drop points to them this season, it eats into the mentality. The first thing you don't want is everybody saying you lost the season last season because you did not beat Aston Villa. If you had beat Aston Villa, you'd have had the same points with City and you had a better goals difference. If you had beat Aston Villa, so now you cannot start the season by losing to Aston Villa. That would destroy the mentality of the players for the whole season because this ghost of Aston Villa from last season will keep haunting them if they lose this game. So we have to go and win this game. So for me, it's not just a crush thing. No, it's a go and do a professional job. Don't capitulate like you did last season, 20 minutes to the end of the game and allow them to score 2 goals. At the end of the day, score 1, score 2. Our defense is more rock solid than ever before. Then defend, just do a professional job and get out of there. I know fans want to see a crush and a beat down, but I don't. I want us to get over the hurdle first instead of trying to go for a beat down. Like with City last season, we got over a hurdle at the Etihad by drawing, by not losing at the Etihad. That's one hurdle. It's not easy to go to the Etihad and win. So for you to go there and hold them to a draw, that's a good thing. So yeah.
So for you, it's more about the mental side of it. Like
it's about the mental side of it. Yeah. Because if you ask any Arsenal fan, the loss to City to Aston Villa last season is what cost us the league. Some people say it's the draw between us and Man City, but I say it's that loss to Aston Villa. That was the only loss between January and May. That was the only loss.
And the truth is, the game at Villa Park, you guys actually played well. Like, I think it was that game, if I can recall, it was that game. Odegaard had some very good chances to kill the game. Odegaard had some very good chances and they as well, they had some chances. But I felt it was a game where at Villa Park, at least
we could have won.
You guys gotten a point. No matter how bad it was, at least a point was Arsenal could have. But sometimes football can just be very, very funny.
Football is unforgiving. If you're not clinical, it's unforgiving if you're not clinical.
Yeah.
Like if you get chances and you don't take it. Look at what happened to Tottenham this weekend.
Against Leicester.
Tottenham literally dominated Leicester. Like
very true.
It was to me, that was a professional team playing against the Sunday League team. The way I looked at it, they were dominating Leicester. And as soon as they did not take all the chances that they created, and Leicester got back into that game, Jamie Vardy, we all know what this guy is. He's a freak of nature. He's what I would call the Haaland before the Haaland. That's the kind of person that he is. Jamie Vardy will score a goal. Just take it or leave it. I can put my money on it. If you want to make money, bet on Jamie Vardy scoring. He will score a goal. Like that's how sure it is, Okay. And them not taking their chances. Look at how it turned around. They lost. They dropped 2 points. Of course, it's the first game of the season, but
very true.
So these are the games that we have to win. Otherwise, this for me becomes a mental thing for the team. Losing to Aston Villa would literally, or dropping points, will literally mess with the psyche of the players for the whole season. Because if at the end of the season we're battling with City for 1 point and we look back and say Aston Villa again, we drop points to them or we lost to them, So they have to win.
Especially in a time where, I don't know if you saw it online this week, where they were comparing Unai Emery and Arteta. So Arsenal going into this game, actually, they are going into this game to prove a point. I think Arsenal will be going into this game to prove a point. They'll be going into this game to prove so much point because
I didn't get involved in that conversation. I just ignored it.
That one is for another day. But for this game, I think the only issue Arsenal will have is not taking their chances. Arsenal will create those chances. because last season they didn't take their chance, like you said. That was where they failed. So it's all about taking their chance, because Aston Villa just had their chance, and it was John McGinns. Yeah, I can remember it was John McGinns that scored the goal. Immediately he got that chance, they took it.
Yeah, that's it. They took their chance. Like, that's the thing about being clinical. Like, it's in every game. If you create a lot of chances and you don't put them away, it's crazy, because you're going to get hurt. It's the Premier League. You're going to get hurt. The league is tougher and tougher every year. People are buying quality players. Teams have people in their teams that can hurt you, regardless of how good your squad is overall. There's always somebody in every team that can hurt you. Leon Bailey can hurt Arsenal easily on the counter. There's players in the Aston Villa team that can hurt Arsenal. We shouldn't forget Unai Emery is a experienced manager who has won things with different clubs. He's been in the game for over 20 years, so people can't just sit there and just underestimate them. I think we have a better squad overall to be able to go in. I think we have better depth as well. I just think that we need to get over the hurdle of what happened last season, not look at them as, oh, they beat us home and away last season. Just take it that this is professional game. We're going in here, we're getting the business done. If I have to get a penalty to score, get a penalty and score. If you score from a set piece, score. There's no time for, we're trying to showboat or trying to show that we're better than you. Go in there, win the game, and walk out of there, man.
And another thing, I think as I when Arsenal played Aston Villa, I think it was that same week Aston Villa played both Arsenal and Man City, and they won both games that same week. Yeah. And as at that period of the season, I can say maybe that was when the title race was charged, like there was that title charge. You understand? At that point of the season. So now this is like the second game of the season, so there's no much pressure. I think Arsenal will be going into the game like both teams, even Aston Villa as well. Like, that pressure won't be there. I don't think the pressure will be that much on both teams. There's always pressure, but because it's just the second game of the season, so they might both approach the game more. I don't know. I'm just something like that. That's what I'm guessing.
I think for Aston Villa, they might not come in with any pressure because they were the ones who were victorious last season, home and away. So they might come in thinking, hey, you know what? We know how to beat you guys. We know what to do. Unai Emery's like, I've done my homework. I know how to, the onus is on us to not lose the game and for us to win the game. So the pressure will be on Arsenal, because a loss to Aston Villa means in 2 seasons, we've lost 3 games to them back to back. That means they become your bogey team. The other time Brighton was our bogey team.
Yeah.
But we crossed that hurdle. Last season when they were in the last few games we had to play, but Brighton was one of them. I wasn't worried. I was like, it's Brighton, we're going to beat them. As in, we've crossed that hurdle. Southampton was our bogey team at one time when they were in the Premiership. Those are the teams that used to hurt us, So if Aston Villa becomes that, sadly, it's going to be very hard to overcome it, because they're a very good team.
They're very good team.
They're not a wash team. So they're not a Leicester or Southampton that you'd be like, okay, maybe they were lucky. No, they're a team that if you don't go in and be pragmatic and do what you need to do, they'll hurt you. So.
And when I am with his 4-4-2,
Yes.
with his 4-4-2,
the man is not changing that. He's not changing that old school formation at all.
It doesn't change it. But I think Arsenal, this should be. Arsenal will create chance, and I believe is the only problem just Arsenal taking their chance. It's not even not creating, it's taking their chances. Just taking their chance. And also for Aston Villa as well. Of course, it's taking their chance, because I think maybe Aston Villa might sit deep. The way I'm seeing the game might play out, maybe Aston Villa might be the one to sit deep. Arsenal might be the one to
try to hit us on the counter.
Yeah, because they might try to use, I think, Bailey and John McGinns to make those counter attack, and that midfield battle. I think they brought in Amadou as well. And they sold Douglas with Luis. So, what's your prediction for the game, if I'm to ask you?
My prediction for the game would be 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
Yeah. Score one goal in the first half, go into 45 minutes with a goal in hand, come back in, they will have their chances, defend like we normally do, which is very good. This time around, I'd play Timber or Calafiori over Zinchenko to be more solid in the back, and then hopefully go for a second goal before the end of the game, just to kill it off like we did against the Wolves. I think just be pragmatic about it. Just go in, because I can't say 1-0 for Aston Villa. Aston Villa is a team that can come back from 1-0.
Okay,
I can't predict 1-0 for them. I can't do that.
I'm thinking a draw.
I don't want a draw. I won't take a draw.
I think this game can end a draw, because going to Villa Park, it's never
It's
easy.
difficult.
It's very hard. You see, places like Villa Park, St. James Park, those places is very, very hard. So,
But if you want to be champions, you have to go to those places and win. If you
very
want to be
true.
champions, yeah, City
Very,
wants to
very
be champions. City goes there and City dominates. So I can't make these excuses. I hope when I speak about City to people and I say, see what City is doing, that's what you need to do to be champions. So I'm going to hold them to that standard as Arsenal. If you want to be champions this season, you have to go to Villa Park and you have to dominate them. I mean, when I say dominate, I'm not saying go and score 6 goals. You need to
Yeah.
go there and at least make sure that you're the one who's controlling the game, score your pragmatic goals that you need to score. That we don't have, I mean, just do what you need to do to win and get out of there. You know,
And-
that's
and
what
yeah.
champions do. If you don't do that at the very beginning of the season, you're putting yourself in a precarious position, man.
Do you
for the
know?
rest of the season.
Do you know one player I said that might give you guys problems?
Who's
That
that?
might Martinez, their goalkeeper.
Oh, Emi Martinez. I'm tired of that guy. I'm tired of that guy. Tired of that
I'm
man.
sure you were expecting an attacker or a midfielder.
No. I was expecting you to say like maybe Leon Bailey or somebody, but
That's why I said an attacker or a midfielder. Yeah,
Emi Martinez can be so frustrating when you watch
Very
him.
frustrating, and he knows how to get into the heads of the players.
Players,
Like,
yeah,
he knows how
good.
to do that.
He's
good
good.
at
He's
that.
good. I think Emi Martinez is going to be a problem as well. He's a very, very good goalkeeper.
He's a very good goalkeeper. But
and-
anyways, like you said, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I think Arsenal 2, Villa 0.
Oh, okay. I'll be going with it. I think it will be a draw. It will be a game Arsenal will draw. I think
0-0, 1-1, 2-2.
I'm not really good at. I think it will be a 1-1 game. 1-1. To be a 1-1 game.
Well, yeah, I guess everybody. I just know that this.
I know Arsenal won't lose. I don't see Arsenal losing this game.
Yeah, I don't see us losing, but
I
I
don't
also
see Arsenal losing this game.
But that's the thing. I don't see us losing. I agree with you on that. But if we want to be champions this season, we cannot draw the game. We cannot.
Okay.
We're not allowed to draw the game if we want to be champions. No, it's the reality of it. Think about it. It's the reality of it. Will City go to Aston Villa and draw a game? No, they will not.
Of course, we'll go there with the mentality of winning. But
that's exactly what I'm saying. So I'm saying we have to have that same mentality now, because here's the thing: we've lost to this same team we lost 6 points to them last season.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of season or not, I don't care whether it's second game or last game of the season. This team is on your crosshairs. You need to go there and win. Last season, you played very well at Villa Park, and we just dropped the ball by not being clinical. We outplayed them and we lost. So what did we not do there? We did not take our chances. Let's be more clinical. And I think our attack has been, even though people are, slandering Kai Havertz, he's had 15 goal contributions in the last 13 games for Arsenal. In the last 13 games coming from last season, he's carried on that same form into this season. He's now scoring 89% of the chances that we create for him out in this last 13 games. As I'm looking at that data set there, 89% of that, as compared to 9% that he was scoring when he was at Chelsea. That's a massive 80% increase in his goal scoring. I think that if he takes the chances that are created for him within that range, we win the game comfortably 2-0 and we go. Maybe 2-1 ending, but I don't see them scoring again, because that's why I said our defense is a lot more prepared this time. If we play Zinchenko, I'll be surprised, because then we're giving them a chance to break that coming through the left-hand side there. Right. Defensively, I like what he offers going forward, but defensively, no. So I would play Timber left back, or I'd play Calafiori left back. I'd play solid, all 4 solid men at the back. Drop Declan Rice in the Declan and Partey in the 6, Declan in the 8, Odegaard in the right 8 or 10, whatever everybody wants to call it, and then I'd play Leandro Trossard, who I think is more clinical on the left. I'd play Kai Havertz up front, and I'll put Bukayo Saka on the right. Coming off the bench, if we score our 2 goals, right, or we score the first goal, second goal, I remove Partey and put Timber in. So now I have Calafiori, Timber, I will have Saliba, I'll have Gabriel and Ben White. Indeed, literally, I'm just locking shop now. And then you have Declan Rice right in front of them, who covers the pitch like a horse, back and forth, and he's also defensive. And I'll leave the other guys up front. Let's see what you do then. You know,
All right. We shall see. It's not too far away. Come
it's
this
not too far.
Saturday, like I said, is a draw. I think I think the game will be a draw. It will be a draw. But thank you so much, Dayo, for coming through. And guys, please do not forget to like. Do not forget to subscribe.